4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts
right here, right now.
This is a message to all the haters out there. If you don't like what I do, but you watch everything I'm doing, you're still a fan.
Oh, you gonna let it all hang out, fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. Oh, you gonna take me home tonight. Oh, down beside that red twilight.
Okay. I was waiting on. I like the mix. I like what you did there, sir.
Yeah.
Gotta mix it up. Summer of
Absolutely.
mashups continues.
There you go on the summer session. So look, once again, welcome to another episode of Hog HQ Live, brought to you for the time being by Hog HQ. This is episode 27. Now tell a friend that we are back with another episode with some great news for you to talk to you guys about Hog, Razorback, and all things Arkansas at the end of the day. Matt, what you looking at over to the side?
That's the damn camera.
Gotcha. All right, look, check it. We're going to jump right into it, guys. We thank you guys for joining us this evening. Once again, we know today is Sunday. It is Father's Day. So once again, happy Father's Day from Hog HQ Live to everyone out there that's watching. For the ones whose father is not here, we definitely sending our condolences out to you. You know what I'm saying, in your time. Just at the end of the day, just know that we appreciate you guys for watching and supporting us. And we thank you for everything that you do, because without you, we could not be. So, with that being said, we were going to jump into our first topic on the left, which says our future. Now, as usual, Mr. Adam has a nice little beautiful bean footage clip that he wants to show us before we get started. Once again, Adam. Now see, okay, look, Matt. Now hold on, Matt.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you noticed, but Adam's screen is freezing up a little bit from time to time. So if you get an opportunity, if you get an opportunity to screenshot him, he does one of these moves like game. We all, this is all fair game, right? Got for us, sir.
Well, you know how the internet works, but
Absolutely.
let's see. All right, here we go. And for those, we know there's stragglers that come in. We may play this again, but this is the first time. So here we go.
Yes, sir. So, if you didn't get exactly what you read or went by too fast, of course, we will run it again for you. But just to break it down, what you just seen on the screen, Hog HQ Live is now collaborating and partnering with Hog Talk Podcast with Porter Hayes. Now, if you pay attention and you follow Adam, Adam does a show with Porter called the Hog Talk Podcast, right? So
Yes.
at this point, Adam's going to break it down more. But at this point, we're collaborating. We're a collaborative effort. We're teaming up because we know it's power in numbers in regards to reaching different audiences. And I'll be honest with you, I think sometimes we have done it as an experiment and seen some of the numbers grow. So we're definitely excited about this partnership with the Hog Talk podcast with Porter Hayes. Adam, give us a little bit more rundown on that before we continue with the show.
Essentially, which, like you said, if you pay attention, you watch, doing Hawk Talk. It's one of those things that it makes sense. We've seen the numbers on both sides. So, collaborating, linking up, joining together, it works. It works for us. We're still going to do things the way we've always done things. We're just putting ourselves on another platform, if you will, to get more viewers, get more interactions, get a bigger reach. So it's one of those things. Nothing here is going to change. It's still going to be us doing our thing. And at the same time, we help out Hog Talk. Hog Talk helps out us, and we just keep rolling.
Yep. Matt, you got the 2 cents on it before I jump into something, man?
I'm just really excited. I think there's a lot bigger things that could be coming on the horizon. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the partnership. Porter seems to be a good guy from what I've gathered from him, and I think it's going to be beneficial on both ends.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, we're also going to be able to now have sponsors. Like, I don't know, for any of those day one people, how I used to just be like, hey, today's episode is brought to you by Dior Sauvage Elixir, right? So I used to do that and make fun of it, right? And
when we just had, where is it at? We just had this little thing down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
So
yeah.
So back then I used to try to be funny about it, but like at some point like we need to get sponsorships. Now with us collaborating with Hog Talk Podcast, we're able to get different businesses involved in regards to being sponsors for the show. Now we have templates already set up to send out. So if anyone is interested in getting their business, whether they do a big business, they're a general manager, they may be a contractor, or maybe they have a home business. They maybe have a business from home they do very well with, that they want to get more exposure to. Looking at the numbers that we provided thus far with the reach that we've been getting, which is what you said was at 3.96, Adam?
So like our interactions, huh?
Go ahead.
What?
It just stopped.
No. The interactions on Hog Talk, I mean, we're looking at, for the last 90 days, we're right at about 3.92 million interactions. Now, our reach for that same 90 days is right around the 7 million mark. So, over there on Hog Talk, we've got, almost 46,000 followers. So it's one of those things. The reach has been astronomical since the beginning of the year. So, 90 days reaching, 7 million people. And I've already done it for some other folks, but, I can send those numbers. I can break down even, which I know I've sent it to Matt and he's posted it, the breakdown of like geographic regions in Arkansas, where the percentage of our viewers come from, where and all that. So, you can see if it makes sense for, the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, Central Arkansas. You can see where we pull from.
Now, that was interesting. So just going back into you referencing the numbers and the cities that shows the most active people. What was the number one city on that again?
Little Rock.
Oh yeah. Little Rock in the building. My city is represented, even though I'm in Atlanta. We're representing big time. So we got to get Pine Bluff and Fort Smith up to par, sirs.
I'm working on it. All right, I'm working.
Hey, that's all anybody can ask, brother. That's all anybody can ask. So look, before we move forward, we just want to say, just thank you guys, because what you've done is grow us. And at the end of the day, like I said, tell a friend. You have shared this. You have tagged people on these lives, and we definitely appreciate your interactions. Have been great. Whether we're going back and forth in debate form, whether we're arguing, or whether we're agreeing. At the end of the day, you have helped grow this. Adam, who are you on the phone with? He got to take a call. All right, maybe he's talking to a sponsor. But in regards to that, like I said, we'll talk about that later off. So if you want to reach out to either one of us, private message or DM, please do so in regards to sponsorship. Like I said, even if you have a local business, if you have a lawn care service, you do quilting, anything of that nature that you would like to throw in there to say, hey, I would like to get my business pushed up and advertised from something that you already been watching and enjoying. So with that being said, we just want to thank you guys for that and just let you guys know the news about our future as Hog HQ Live. All right. So let's get straight into it. We're going to basketball and we're going to Cal staff. So Matt, you got to get why? Yeah. You keep moving. All right. Hey, so look, I'm back. All right. Hey, sometimes you got to take the business.
It was my daughter.
You understand? I got you. On Father's Day.
Happy
it's
Father's
rightfully
Day.
So. Yeah, got to take that. So we're in the basketball and Cal staff. What's the latest news in regards to Coach Cal's? Staff being fully staffed, is it fully staffed? Who do we have, and what can we look forward to if that is complete?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
So this week they announced Bruiser Flint, which I think we've all known he was going to come along, but he has an official title as special assistant to the head coach. So I look at that kind of like maybe like Dwight Schrute in The Office, assistant to the regional manager. If you don't watch The Office, then, but he's going to be his assistant. Chris Woolard, he's going to be the general manager. So essentially, he's handling the day-to-day operations of the basketball program, and he also serves as the executive director for the Calipari Foundation. He's been with Calipari for the past 13 seasons. So Lanitha Pryor, she's going to be the chief of staff. Her and Woolard are basically going to be working like hand in hand to coordinate his scheduling, his travel, recruiting responsibilities. She's been with Coach Cal for the past 24 years. So obviously, and it's one of those that I've seen several comments from Kentucky fans on calling us the Razor Cats or calling us whatever. And, what coach besides Eric Musselman goes to a new school and doesn't bring everybody with them? Not necessarily everybody, but you're bringing people close to you. And Musselman did bring some people here and there. I get it. But, when you're at, Coach Cal's caliber, you stick with the people who helped you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Buddy is going to be the Razorbacks video coordinator. Last season, he was the video coordinator at Kentucky, and he's also held similar positions for the Lakers, San Diego State, and then Kevin Gallagher is an assistant video coordinator. He he was a manager for Kentucky from 2018 to 2021, and then he was a grad assistant doing the same thing, video and whatnot. So he's bringing people he knows.
Yeah, and we can go back to in another sport. We watched Coach Pittman do the same thing when he got to Arkansas. Mm-hmm. He brought in a lot of people that he already knew that was familiar with him and his style of coaching, and his way of doing things. In regards to bringing in certain caliber type of players and bringing in different people on the staff. So it just makes sense as opposed to trying to find somebody new. Coach Cal is in win now mode at Arkansas. So we definitely appreciate him. Shout out to Hunter Yurchik for letting everything that he wants go through. As far as payroll is concerned and everything, he got everything that he needs, all the resources to be successful. So Coach Cal is in win now mode. Now, a lot of names you mentioned, a lot of people aren't familiar with, and that's understandable. But one name that we kind of talked about on the side via text this week was a former player. And we wondered, was this guy ever going to be announced as a staff member? We knew that, and we spoke about Joe Johnson before, and we recognized that did not come to fruition. I don't know what's going on with the screen, but we'll just keep it moving. So
hey, Matt disappeared.
I don't know what happened.
But the thing that's real cool, Matt, is the fact that you looked over here and looked over there. It looked like the break. It looked like the Brady.
I hate the camera
right
on the side, bro. I hate this camera being over here.
I know. But see, once we get these sponsorships, we're gonna be able to do what? Get some more equipment, and then we're gonna all that. So that's gonna come to fruition. But speaking of the staffer that we were looking at as a former player, do we have any news on a former player who could potentially or is on the staff and it hasn't been publicly announced?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I guess, are we talking about Ronnie Brewer?
Oh, that's the first person I can think about.
He's now being referenced on multiple Arkansas sports media, as Razorback staffer. I don't think that there's been a position announcement. But, he's never left the school site. And we were talking about in our group text yesterday, like Mike said, he's not new, so that's why it hadn't been announced. It's because he didn't leave, he stayed on staff. But it's now starting to get, tweets and such put out that Razorback staffers contacted. And there went Damien.
Oh, that's me? Oh, my bad. Sorry.
We're just having all sorts of technical difficulties.
What is going on tonight?
My little blip on the radar. See now that we have moved on up like the Jeffersons in regards to collaborating.
Everything breaks.
I got more options. I got more options on my screen looking like, join the chat. So I was trying to get on YouTube. Now all of a sudden I'm about to jump on YouTube by myself. But yeah, that's what happened. So sorry guys. But yeah, so Ronnie Brewer. So Ronnie Brewer, I guess the Ronnie Brewer situation is similar to who was that? Similar to when the basketball players were Musselman, if they were no, that was before. I think that was before Brazil now. When the guys were coming back, there wasn't any announcement. It was just assumed that if they announced, that means they're leaving. So it looks, So essentially, it looks like Ronnie Brewer is on staff, which is going to do great in regards to familiarity with the recruits of the state of Arkansas. We know we got a big 2025 and 26 class coming up in basketball, so that'll do wonders in regards to what Coach Cal and his previous staff has already done, relationships they have, along with what Ronnie Brewer has in place already, and his relationship with in-state coaches and players. So that'll be great. I think that's a great mix at the end of the day to have a familiar face. So I think at the end of the day for us, for the ones who are familiar, who are Razorback savvy, Ronnie Brewer and Trevor Brazile, those are the two faces that you're going to know in this next staff in regards to basketball, player and staff. So I think that'd be great in that regard. You got anything else? Go ahead, Matt.
There's still room for more. So we could see Joe join officially. That's kind of up in the air. But from what I was told a while back, and I don't remember if this was publicly or not said as well, but basically it sounds like Cal's wanting several GA students that are like Tyler Eulis, like Ronnie Brewer, like Joe Johnson, people like that can come in and can scrimmage in practice against the team. And what way to sharpen the younger players and just your starters overall by going against a bunch of former NBA players and stars in college that can hold their own and get down there and really get physical and teach them what it's really going to be like. Prepare them not only for this season but what it could be like in the NBA.
Yeah, and I think that's a great note that you mentioned because at the end of the day, a lot of people can tell you can be a great scorer. You can be a facilitator, but defense is what a lot of times gets you to the next level. If you're not an elite scorer, playing defense is what can get you to the next level and get noticed in that regard. So even if you're not in the top five, starting five, and you're one of the four players that's on the bench, or potential 5 players, it could be 10 at this point. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you're one of those guys, and this is your opportunity to learn from some vets who have done it on both levels, college and NBA, and we know essentially the type of guys that Cal recruits, these guys are looking to go to the NBA at some point. So the sooner that they want to get there, they have to learn all of the things that Coach Cal has given them, as well as these vets can give them about being at the next level and what it takes to not only get to the next level, but stay at the next level of the NBA. Adam, did you have anything to add to Coach Cal's staff before we move to baseball?
No, I mean, it's one of those things that we're going to see, I think over time, people are going to come and go like always. But, we're going to see, potentially people that Cal has been connected to previously, or we're going to see, I think, a Razorback connection. So it's one of those that I don't have. I don't have, I think previously with Eric Musselman, there was a lot of who's he going to go get and questions around who they are, their resume, etc. And I think with Coach Cal, it's going to be a little bit more straightforward. We're going to understand why a little bit better than before. It was, you find out that Coach Musselman and somebody coached together in a G League team 10 years ago,
right?
There or whatever. You have to dig out, but it seems like Cal's pretty straightforward with his assistants that they've met before,
Gotcha.
Through the years somewhere.
Makes sense. Transitioning into baseball, Dave Van Horn, 6 things. So last week, if you watch, we talked about Coach Pittman's 6 things, 2 by each of us, and kind of breaking down what we feel like this particular coach needs in order to excel or go further in the next year from the previous season that they were in. And we know we lost in regionals. we hosted the regional and lost in the regional, and it was doggone hard to try to even watch. Talking about people going to Omaha and look at the teams from the SEC that we know we beat and that we were better than in that moment and had victories, but weren't able to come out of the regional and try to push and make the push for Omaha and get for a championship. So, with that being said, we are going to look at Dave Van Horn's 6 things, 2 by each, and try to figure out what do we feel are 2 things apiece that we feel like he can add to his particular repertoire, whether it be regards to coaching, talent, etc., that can help him go further the next year. At the end of the day, we want the hardware championships. So I think one of my things is I go 3-3. Well, I go 1-1-1, and then circle back. All right. So I think my first thing that I want to add is if we look at the transfer portal and I look at it from different sports, and one of the things that's been successful in the football realm is finding older players. Finding players who still have that great talent and potential, who came out of high school as good or great recruits, may have had an injury or two, which kind of slowed their trajectory down for going to the next level. Feel like getting older players and having maturity in your clubhouse, in your locker room, is going to be huge. So I feel like having some maturity along with the high school guys, because I looked at some of the recruits, and once again, they do a hell of a job of recruiting, but some of these guys are going to go to the majors. So they're not going to even see campus. So I said bringing in some older guys who can bring in some veteran leadership. And we've seen that thus far with some of the guys he's been able to bring on already. And just try to have a different balance of young and older or veteran players at the college level that can help us, who can help the younger guys mature faster and get to the next level. And then maintain that maturity when it comes into postseason play. That's my first one. Matt, you got something?
Yeah, I'll go along basically the same topic in a way. Mine was recruiting balance. And what I mean by that is it seemed like in the past we went all in on hitting. I mean, not saying we've never had pitchers, but I'm not saying that by any means, but it seems like we had a bunch of hitting, and now it's gone more towards pitching in recent years, and not as much, big time hitters. And I mean, I'm not acting like we can just grab anybody we want, but we do have a national brand in baseball, and we do go recruit coast to coast.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to have a balance of pitching and hitting. We need basically to adjust a little bit of how we've done things. I felt like this year we should have had a little more small ball. We should have played it that way instead of trying to hit home runs. Especially when we would get people on, I felt like we should have been butting them over a little more, maybe stealing a little more. I'm not saying everybody was capable of that, but that goes back to my point, being that we need to recruit better and be balanced in that aspect of having more athletes, which we kind of hit on in previous shows. Just have better athletes that can do a little more of everything than just one thing above average.
Gotcha. Great point. And shout out to Derek Covington in the comments saying, quit swinging for the fences every at bat, which is, yes, strategically what you said at the same time. So thank you for that comment, Derek. Adam, what you got?
I mean, it's really, it sounds like a broken record here, but we've already started to see it, but it is, like Derek said, like y'all said, not swinging for the fences every time. So what we've seen already in the transfer portal that Arkansas has gotten in are guys that led their teams in doubles and triples. And it wasn't necessarily guys that were hitting the most home runs. They have decent batting average, and they're leading their team. One of them even, I think, the conference in doubles hit. So it's guys that are putting the balls in play or outfield. They're not striking out or getting a home run. It's one of those. It's more balanced is what we're seeing. Going back to touching on what you said with the recruits and whatnot. This isn't an overnight fix, but Dave has said that seeing 5, 6, 7 guys going to the draft instead of coming to college has hurt them just based on who they're after and type of players that they're after. And I think that will change in coming seasons, but it's not an immediate fix right now, just because of the way that NIL and scholarships are still divvied out. Nothing's going to change overnight. So I think that's something down the road. So right now he's seeing what he needs to go get in the transfer portal, and it's guys that can, run, and then it's guys that can hit, extra base hits.
Gotcha. Yeah, piggyback, but then jumping on another topic. Find me a guy who led his team in stolen bases. That's what I want to see. Find that guy for me. Like I said, at the end of the day, we've, and as you say, there has to be a particular type of athlete. This guy has to have a nice 40-yard dash at the end of the day. So we need to find whoever that is, or find those pool of people, and then pull them on. But I think my next point would be, if you're going to keep the batting coach on your staff, it's time to draw a line. It's time to draw a line in the sand at this point. So, what are you willing to tolerate, and what are you going to stand up and stand on business and say, this is what I want? We see a lot of times in different sports where coaches allow their coaches to do their job, which is fine, which is well and fine. At the same time, when you keep seeing something repetitive, we keep keeping guys stranded on base and they're not making it home, and we're not getting these leads when we have the opportunity to do that. Because as Derek said before, you swinging for the fences and you're getting struck out. Meanwhile, you got 2-3 guys on base and they can't bring home a run. So I think when it comes to your batting coach, draw that line in the sand and just say, look, at this point, as Matt said, we need to play small ball. Just give me something in the gap. Give me a bunt and just let me get the guy that's really fast and let him get home. That's what we need. Now the pitching staff has to do something different in regards to the count and who's on base. And I think that gives us a different dynamic. Before, I feel like we were just, as you said, swinging for the fences, trying to get the home run. So let's see if we can play a different type of style of ball. We know Dave Van Horn is a winner, but I think in order for him to get to the next level and bring home that hardware, he has to do some small things that he can do to switch up his style and his staffing to make it happen, to get that extended run and get us to the promised land, which is Omaha. Matt?
My next one would be motivation. And this hit me as soon as y'all were talking about the topics. I believe it was yesterday. I was watching the Tennessee game, and I noticed in the 8th inning, Tony Vitello get his guys together and really get them hyped up, and they ended up coming back and winning in the 9th inning. I felt like it gave him a little bit of confidence. I don't know what he said, obviously, but I feel like Van Horn is always about business. He's strictly business, and I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but in key moments when you can see something is a little off with the guys, they don't have it today or something, I feel like that would be really beneficial, because at the end of the day, these are, 18 to 22-year-olds roughly. I mean, there may be some older, but they're kids, young men, and they can get into their feels, as they say, and, just have an off day. And we all saw that against Kansas State. The fans can see it. We can feel that they're just not with it today. They don't have the energy, the urgency. And I mean, even last night, I don't remember who the batter was for Tennessee, but he was down. It was basically, I think it was a 3-2 count, and he's sitting there just nodding his head. I got this. And he was telling the bench, I got this. And what'd he do? Hit a ball to the gap. And the next guy come up, hit a ball up the middle. And next thing you know, they won the game. They came back and won. I believe they had 3 or 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth to win it. And it's things like that really – I like Van Horn, and he does a good job, and we've played the videos of him talking after the game. He needs to do something like that possibly during the game when he sees that they're not bringing it like they usually are. And it's just I feel like it could help, and it could maybe right the ship in some situations where he's, just all business and could, possibly change the outcome.
Let me take what you said and throw what I said and put it together. Just like the merger between Hog HQ Live and Hog Talk Podcast. So, yeah, you like that. So, what I was looking at is possibly that motivation that you're speaking about. Maybe that is your hitting coach. Maybe you allow him to be the rah-rah guy who gets these guys out of their slump. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the little, you just tinker with what you already have to try to get to the next level. Maybe he allows him to say, look, I'm giving you, full range. Rile these guys up. You got to get into it in the dugout and pull them together and talk trash or whatever motivates these guys. then maybe he needs to be that guy. Dave Van Horn is an older gentleman. He just had triplets, grandbabies.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that man ain't doing all that. He gonna damn. We don't even have no health issues on the field. Doing a bunch of yelling and screaming,
Yeah, I mean,
guys up.
sometimes just what you say as opposed to how you say it.
This true. Women tell us that all the time. Yeah, so we know about that. So at the end of the day, maybe that may be that maturation where he allows his coaches to do that. Real quick, and before you go, I want to jump to these comments before we go through baseball. Tim Ross said, "Could the Busby kid play next season as a pitcher?" He he is a nephew of Bo Busby, who played for the Razorbacks in football. Y'all can chime in.
I never know, honestly, who Dave Van Horn's going to have in the works. We hear about a kid, towards the end of one season into the next, and then he might be the next hot thing, or we might not hear from him for a season or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard in June to say who is on Dave Van Horn's radar.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job this year as far as pitching and injuries. They did a good job of just maintaining what they had. Teresa, hey Teresa, I thought Teresa, I'm glad you was able to join us because I know you said like House of Dragons, Game of Thrones, something. I don't know. Yeah, you said something was on, so I'm glad you was able to join us tonight. If they bring them in to hit triples, doubles, then hypothetically they quit hitting after Thompson trains their swing, and they just strike out. If their shoes, I don't know, maybe you
strike out of their shoes. Essentially, bringing in these type of guys that hit doubles, hit triples, they're not just swinging for the fences or just sitting there watching every time. They're actually trying to put a ball in play versus all or nothing.
Gotcha.
So essentially, that kind of eliminates Thompson in that respect of how he trains some of them.
Gotcha. Got another comment from Will Lennox. Will Lennox from YouTube. Thank you for coming on YouTube, growing the channel. So build our team like Tennessee, full of athletes with power hitters all throughout the lineup. Next coach, Vitello, Wes Johnson, Matt Hobbs. Who was the guy that's from? I'm not familiar. Who was the guy that's from Arkansas? Was that Wes Johnson?
Wes Johnson
Georgia?
is from Sherwood, I think, and then he's a head coach at Georgia.
Gotcha. And they've been doing their thing. I've been watching it. They've been on the local news here, so I've been watching their thing. Teresa, does anyone follow the stats of the players we send a summer ball? I have not watched any stats.
Yeah, I'll be posting it as the games. We're sending 17 players to summer ball. I'll post their videos, stats, and stuff that's put out there of them. It may not be like an everyday occurrence, but it's something I'll keep on top of. And then I was just informed that it's House of Dragons season 2. So
see, Teresa, you got Mr. Phone a friend. He gonna do the research that fast. That's why he's that guy.
Hey, it's somebody watching that shot me a text and said, "Hey, by the way."
That's what's up. And Teresa said she can watch it later because we're on, and man, we love it.
She's real.
For real, she's a real one. All right, so Adam, your last point in regards to Dave Van Horn, 6 things. What you got?
So I'm going to get away from hitting on this one. Okay. And it seems like not every season, but, it more often than not recently, we're so reliant on a pitcher. And by a pitcher, I mean literally one pitcher.
Yeah.
And we always talk about early on that we've got this, we've got the bullpen, we've got this roster of pitchers, we've got this, we got that. And then come SEC play, it just dwindles, whether it's injuries, whether they hit their slumps, whether they're not as good as maybe we had thought. I think that pitching in the aspect of you need more than one dominant pitcher. And I get that there's not going to, it's hard to come by a Hagen Smith, a Paul Skeens, Kevin Kopp's going back. It's one of those that I'm not saying you have to have more than one of those on a team, while it would be nice, but you need to make sure your rotation can actually support your Friday night starter or your, starter of the week. But also a lot with that, yes, it's tied back to hitting. Our hitters don't do our pitchers any justice. But I just think that the pitching outside of our one dominant pitcher, it always gets sketchy come SEC time.
Yeah, relaying that back to football, it's kind of like the defense is doing their part and the offense can't freaking score. Yeah. So at some point, the defense just looks like, look, man, we tired. It's fourth quarter. We've been holding it down all day. We just need you guys to score some points. So that's going to be interesting. I definitely can dig what we're putting down on that. So speaking of football, we're going to transition into football. And as you guys have seen, summer sessions is not as much information, but we do have quality information. We don't want to hold you guys all night. We're going to go straight into football and go into football recruiting. We have gotten some recruits recently. I think we've seen Mateos has got 2 offensive linemen. Now the one, I know you're gonna give me the stats in the rundown. The one young man that's offense. It's one guy that's like almost 300. It's another guy that's like 260 something. And I looked in the comments during the group during the week, and somebody was ragging on him or whatnot and said, well, you guys said the same thing about who was it? Who was the one that committed a while back and had a bunch of celebrities, Warren Moon, and a bunch of people comment on him? He played guard. What was his name? I want to say Bray Cook. That's too far back though. Cannot think of his name. Just recently went out 2 years ago. Either way, they were just basically saying he was undersized coming out of high school. Just my opinion. I know we got a new staff now, a new offensive coordinator. I don't know what he look like. Maybe he makes an offensive line. They put some weight on him when he get here. I say get his hands together, and we need an inline blocking tight end. Just give me an inline blocking tight end. This man is already offensive lineman. Give me a blocking tight end. But go ahead with the stats in regards to who we have actually got comments from recently.
So recently, this one was a couple of weeks ago. We had Blake Sherry out of Owasso. He was an offensive tackle. He's 6'5", 295. And then what is today? The 16th. So 2 days ago, we had Connor Howes from Florida. Again, we're at 6'5.5", 295. Then we're scrolling down here. I'm just looking at the offensive linemen that we've gotten. We've got another one, 6'4", 285. So you have now granted, these are 2025 class, so going into their senior years, but not one of them are 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Flip side, then, I know one of the guys today, I don't see on here. Like, I think one of the guys today was maybe 305. But I think he's listed at, whenever I looked him up, whenever I looked him up, he,
whatever his last name was,
like defensive tackle or something like that, but he was at like 305.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those, they're high school seniors, but the size isn't necessarily there. So maybe they bulk up. Maybe that's what Petrino wants. It's just, who knows at this point.
Yeah, maybe they senior year to have a couple more Big Macs or the local Dairy Queen or Dairy Bar and get some burgers and fries. I don't know. Maybe they gain some weight, but as of right now, this is all speculation because we don't know. It sounds like a redshirt year. But go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get all worked up about how much they weigh because 9 times out of 10 they're going to come in, they're going to strip off weight on them and build them back up anyways.
Correct.
And so whatever they look like is not what they're going to look like when they get done here.
True.
But that did also remind me, I need to ask my guy what they're doing with the offensive line because we talked about in the past where Petrino used to flip his line. He'd have a strong side and a weak side, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if they're practicing that way right now or what. I need to see what they're working on. I don't know if they're just going to keep the same alignment every time or what, but that did remind me I need to ask about that question.
Gotcha. Looking at the comment here, Derek Covington. Derek, shout out to you because you comment on Facebook and on YouTube, so I definitely appreciate that. And I don't want to butcher the name. Like I said, it's Najee Kennedy coming to the Hogs. But seriously, any insight on transfers softball may be looking at? And I like the softball team.
I don't have any names. I don't have any names right now, but it's one of those that Coach Deifel, after losing in the regionals too, looked at the team and there's going to be an overhaul there. We already saw it immediately after girls hitting the portal. So that's not anywhere close to being done. She basically knows what she needs to fix, and it's essentially pack your stuff and go. A lot of the players that are there, because she knows that she's got to overhaul if she wants to get to the next step, because she doesn't want to be, just reaching regionals or being one game away from going to Oklahoma City to play. She doesn't want that to be the ceiling. And so it's basically, I've got to do better, coach, and get better players in here, and that's what she's doing.
Gotcha. And Teresa said that she's a beast pitcher. So I would definitely love to see us have another great pitcher coming through. So Coach D knows what she's doing. I trust in Coach D and what she got going on. She's definitely built that team up and been making it look good every year. So I hate they had an early exit this year, but hopefully next year we can have a better season all the way around. We need a balanced team, not just killer pitching. This is in regards to baseball, but serious hitters up and down the lineup, which makes it harder on the pitching staff, opposing teams. So I definitely agree with that. Matt over at YouTube says, I don't care about how our offensive line looks as long as they can block effectively, which is key, which sometimes get lost. That's a great point that you brought up right there. As long as they can block effectively, because at the end of the day, I watch the NFL draft every year, and I'm looking like these guys is getting drafted in the third and fourth round. I'm looking like, who is he? And he comes from some small school, but you watch the film, and the film indicates that he can do a great job and can excel. He can get to the next level of blocking, stay on his blocks, etc. So I agree with that comment. That's a great comment in regards to, as long as they can block, that's all that matters. They can be 275. If they can block, put them on the field. Put the best guys on the field. So
and we already know we've got a running back that can block. So
yeah.
Jaquindon Jackson actually knows how to block. So
right.
yeah. He knows how to block. So yeah, in regards to that, I feel like we did a decent job in regards to recruiting. It's going to be interesting to see what comes of the football between here and opening day. Anything could happen. It's college football. Plus, the game is getting ready to come out. When the game come out? Next month?
July 19th.
July 19th. And for those who don't know what we're talking about NCAA football, which has not been out since, I think the last person on there was the quarterback from Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought it was Michigan's quarterback. Yeah. 2014.
So for people who game or who are slightly interested in football outside of watching on TV, we are excited about this. So, what you about to say, Adam?
Oh, I mean, it's one of those things that people are buying the next gen consoles just for this game. They're going and spending $500 on a new, PS5 or Xbox just for this game. So that tells you how big it is.
And speaking of how big it is, it's interesting.
That's what she said.
Correct. We need to put a clip in there from The Office, because The Office is popping tonight. All right. Yeah. So one of the things that people don't understand about this particular game that's going to come out, they have put so much into it just to try to update the landscape of college football. So NIL is going to be involved in the game. A lot of, as far as marketing they've done, everybody that's on the game, player-wise, has gotten paid to be in the game, which is why the whole NIL situation even started from the beginning. There was an Ed O'Bannon back with UCLA Bruins. That was part of the situation why it even got started about players getting paid because of your likeness. A lot of guys were saying, Ed O'Bannon said, I'm in a dorm eating noodles and crackers, and I'm playing this video game, and I'm like, that's me. Like, people wearing my jersey, and we're not getting paid for it. So that's part of what it's been. So it's going to be interesting to see how guys are going to take this so serious about building their squad. Of course, we're going to play with the Hogs, but I'm going to find me like a Bowie State.
I think I read today that there's 7 new teams that'll be on this, and they're teams that weren't on the last one because they were FCS or whatever. So it's teams that have now moved into FBS that are going to be on there. And I think that they rated Kennesaw State was the worst college football program on the game. So, there's going to be those folks that are like, I'm going to take the worst and turn them into, and then there's going to be those folks that are like, oh no, I'm going to go get my revenge. And they're going to go beat Georgia 100-0 with Arkansas.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna go get Georgia State.
They're
Yeah, I'm
new
gonna
to
go
the
get
game.
yeah. I'm gonna go get Georgia State, which is
No,
located right inside
Georgia Southern's new.
Georgia. I thought Georgia. Well, no, they went on last game, right? I think Georgia
Yeah.
State is on there as well. They right inside the city limits of Atlanta, what we call inside the perimeter. I'm gonna get all the Atlanta recruits and I'm put them all on the team. We're gonna beat Georgia and State. We're gonna put them on the schedule every year so we can beat Georgia. But anyhow, that's what we got. That's what we got this evening. We can wrap this thing up, guys. Put a bow on it. Oh, wait. I got a head shake. That means we got
No.
some. Yeah, we got some.
Do you want to play the video before that?
Yeah, play
or
the
after
video
that?
and then we'll go into it.
Play the video. Beautiful beam footage. Roll it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So just in case you missed it at the beginning, you joined late. That was the big announcement on the title that says our future. Just beat Eli Dirty Pants. Yeah, Eli Drinkwater. Yeah, we definitely got to beat Mizzou. Yeah, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of Texas A&M. And I think I'm going to the Texas A&M game this year. So we'll see. I know we talked about it off air, but yeah, Matt, you got something.
Yeah, I got something. I got a couple things. One, I was texting my guy before the show. Apparently, there's some big baseball news supposed to come at some point, and he won't tell me much, but he just told me that a big SEC guy is hitting the portal. We'll figure out what that is soon. As far as before I go into the last thing, some people are probably aware of the Natty State Sports situation. I don't know those people personally, but I do know of them, and I know they're good people. And some people were making the reason why I'm bringing this up is there's been some people attacking them, making fun of them, and I'm talking about other media or whatever you want to call these other people talking about them. And I just feel it's kind of messed up because it's their livelihood, and it's not their fault. It didn't flop. What they put out good content, but it's something kind of out of their control. And so just, keep them in your thoughts because, I mean, anybody losing a job, it's a tough time. And just it's not something you should make fun of because karma will come back on you at some point. Moving on to the last thing, I'm not going to name names, but I know who and I know where. But I was told this weekend that after the football season, this is not a prediction or anything because I know how I know. And just like I knew about Andrew Chambly and caught a bunch of flack. There is a player that is more than likely going to transfer after the football season. And like I said, that I know where they're probably going to go. This is not a tampering thing, but more of a playing time thing. So, I mean, it's the nature, the business nowadays. If you don't get to play a lot of times, you want to go find somewhere you want to play, especially the older you get. And I totally understand it, especially the older you get. Freshmen, that's one thing. They're just being kids. But the longer you're in college, the more you want to play because, you got a short window. But just keep an eye out. There will probably be a player. I'm not going to name the position or any of that because I'm not trying to, start any of that stuff, especially before we even hit the season. But look for a player to probably transfer. And I'll come back to this topic or to this I'll reference this when it happens and say this was the person I was talking about. I'll just leave it at that.
And that way we can always say this is why you trust Hog HQ Live because this is what it is. Anybody seen what it's on this side? Anybody see what's going on down there? The more you know. Hog News. It's already happening, guys, and we haven't even got the sponsorships yet. It's happening. We just add little stuff as we go. Yeah, the more you know. We need to add the little rainbow. What was that? Reading rainbow?
The NBC.
NBC.
Yeah, NBC. Yeah, the more you know. Yeah, I'm sure there's a copyright on that thing. All right, Teresa, real quick. Two Texas A&M fans were escorted out of the Schwab Stadium and banned from the College World Series in the city of Omaha last night. Giggle.
Wow, I missed that.
It's up out of there.
So yeah, okay. So I know this isn't all Texas A&M fans. So when I say this, I'm not talking about the entire fan base. But if you want more, which the videos are all over Twitter and TikTok, everything. So two guys decked out in their finest trash bags, Texas A&M clothing, basically were near the Florida dugout, hooting, hollering, yelling, getting into it with them, and they started making fun of the death of a Florida bat boy.
What?
100%. That's what they started going after them about, was the death of a bat boy.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Players and coaches were obviously hollering back, and it ended up being the security and police came to escort them out. And the city of Omaha's police department actually posted their pictures of them in this altercation or back and forth or whatever, and called them out. Didn't call them out by names, but they called them out for what they did, and that they were not welcome at that stadium anymore. And essentially they were kind of calling on the NCAA to, hey, y'all just need to ban them from
sports,
all these events.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's very distasteful, man. You don't do that, man. Like I said, life is a precious thing. You don't definitely try to make fun of somebody in regards to them losing a loved one. So, like I said, that's definitely distasteful. Shout out to the police department for doing what they need to do. They need to be banned from all collegiate sports at the end of the day. That's not cool at all. Not cool at all. Matt, thank you once again for bringing up the conversation about Natty Sports. Once again, our thoughts are with those guys. And over here at Hog HQ, we will not tolerate any slander and negative talk about these gentlemen. Like I said, we don't know all the details. At the end of the day, we wish them well on their journey and wherever comes next for them. But we know that all those guys, they have done great work, which is why they were where they were. Like I said, hopefully they land gracefully in a good situation. So like I said, our thoughts are with those guys, man. And hopefully they can go ahead and bounce back and keep on doing what they've been doing in regards to delivering great information for Razorback Sports. Adam, you got something?
yeah, I'm good.
Gotcha. Matt, you got something?
I'm good.
Adam,
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I bet you won't do it again. I bet you won't do it.
Do what?
Double dog dare you to do it again.
So forget about it, cuz.
Yes, sir. And just like that, we wrapped up another show. We thank everyone for jumping in from YouTube and on the Facebook and commenting in the comments. As you know, we will continue to keep growing this channel thanks to you guys and everything that you do in regards to sharing our information with other people and sharing it on different platforms. Like I say, you can follow me on X in regards to putting out our content on X. You know we're on YouTube and you know we're on Facebook. Please tell a friend that we are doing great work and we are getting great support from you guys in regards to keep growing this channel. And we are once again excited to be collaborating and joining Hog Talk Podcast with Mr. Porter Hayes. We're going to keep making it do what it do. I got a feeling before I get off this screen that my guy is working on something that he about to make something pop on the screen. I have no idea what's going on in regards to what Adam is doing.
Huh?
What? Yes, sir. to phone a friend. If you need
There
to
we go.
phone a friend in a critical situation, this is your man. This is your guy. I tell you, he is that guy, man. Tell a friend that we are back. And once again, we are out of here on this Father's Day evening. Gentlemen out there that's watching, once again, happy Father's Day. Once again, you are definitely appreciated. You are definitely valued as men. We definitely thank you guys for what you have done, being the mentor and the guide in your household, and being there for your children. So once again, we thank you, man, just for being who you are. We love you. We appreciate you. At the end of the day, we are out of here to the next show. Tell a friend and tell a friend.
Peace.